break all the barriers and the borders of Africa and create something that can help the whole communities in various countries, and to have a vision and to have something like a roadmap in order to see if we really need, because when you look into OpenStreetMap, really, it's not, it's technology project based on science, research, and so on, but it's somehow we need also to, let's say, adapt in certain manner the model, the way of building a database, or the way of addressing some issue in our own context. How can we create a movement with OpenStreetMap Africa into a stage where we can be more, let's say, relevant in our action? So we were discussing on this issue with some of the members. So I will give the floor also to Innocent. What we will do today is to share with you, we haven't built let's say, something very definitive. What we want to do with you people is to come out today with a methodology, but we need to have a deadline of this official launch of OpenStreetMap Africa, and we need to discuss together what's the best way to bring this out. So, Innocent, you have the floor, and then we will discuss with the room and see what is the best.
Good afternoon, everyone. So for those that do not know me, my name is Innocent Maholi. I'm the Executive Director of OpenMap Department Tanzania, which is national. We are registered, so we are a national NGO that focuses on open mapping, open data training, and innovation.
Can we have maybe give you a summary of
sure.
In French?
I can do it directly.
Yeah, so that the French speakers can follow the. Because one of them.
Ok, très rapidement, en 2-3 minutes. OpenStreetMap, vous savez, c'est une dynamique. Au-delà de la donnée, c'est une communauté. La difficulté aujourd'hui, c'est de voir, en fait, au-delà du volet, en fait, scientifique, technologique, mais de créer un vrai mouvement. Et lorsqu'on parle de OpenStreetMap Africa, il n'y a pas une structure officielle et légale qui existe à ce jour. Alors, même dans chaque pays, ça n'existe pas toujours quelque chose d'officiel et légal, mais on va dire, on ne va pas attendre que chaque communauté, chaque pays ait une association officielle pour penser à créer quelque chose à l'échelle continentale. Et oui, si on veut créer quelque chose à l'échelle continentale, quels en sont les challenges? Where are the opportunities? Donc, quelles sont les opportunités? Quelles peuvent être les difficultés qu'on aura? Et quelle peut même être la forme que ça pourrait prendre? Et le but de cette rencontre, c'est de ressortir avec une méthodologie pour la mise en œuvre de cette association avec un statut légal qui va porter la vision d'OpenStreetMap à l'échelle de l'Afrique. Et comment ça pourrait... on est là vraiment pour discuter avec vous, pour prendre un peu de vos idées aussi, et de sorte que les choses puissent se faire très rapidement dans un temps très court, en fait, d'ici la fin de l'année. Donc, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so I hope that was to cover what Will French said for non-English speakers. But for me, I think I'll just speak in English, and I think you translate. So I was kind of introducing myself, which I already did, but I'm here today to speak a little bit about, how Africa, as far as OpenStreetMap needs to be united. There was an interesting workshop, actually session yesterday, that was looking at governance in open mapping communities across Africa. I'm sure for those that joined, were able to get some insights from that session. And ideally, some of the takeaways, of course, we've had this discussion on how we could, really organize ourselves into something that is more meaningful, apart from just, organizing State of the Map is a conference, but, having a united African communities that can really start changing, the narrative within our African governments and also the development partners. So just drawing from the session yesterday, so it looks like we have different models within our own countries, which in my case, I believe that was somehow because we never had some sort of, a united OSM Africa that really create a framework for OSM communities within different countries. So we had different cases where, you have I think I'd say an organized community that is being led by, let's say, a group of people that also are recruiting others to join the, the entity and then move forward from there. But then there are questions about governance, the questions about, some of the issues that you also presented yesterday. How much of the time do you have to meet as a community? What are the challenges that you're seeing? In case if there's anything that is not active so far by then, what are the plans? Are you not active, but kind of kicking it, or you're just quiet? So to me, what I felt was we kind of need a framework where let's say if we have OSM Africa is something that is incorporated, let's say, something that is organized, well organized, and not in terms of hosting the conferences, but also supporting all these communities that are within different countries. That is something that we should really push forward for. Some of the communities, from what we shared, so you have different communities within the same country, and then you are not on the same page. Like everyone is talking their own language, not languages, like you are not on the same page. So the problem comes, as Trudy was sharing, like some others are trashing, like some of the communities are trashing others so that they can get maybe funding and stuff like that. How do we learn to coexist together? Is if we have, let's say, local community mapping groups, if you have youth mappers chapters within the same country, how do we move forward together and really push the narrative? Because ideally, would love for for the decision makers, development partners, and even the communities to really see the value of OpenStreetMap and data that comes out of it, and also really push forward for it to be used. So as Will Frank said, I think the discussion here is not like we have a solution, but ideally we wanted for everybody to be to participate in this discussion and share ideas of how you think maybe the OSM Africa Association could be. Apart from organizing a conference, which I think is more led by the local organizing committee, how much of other countries can be able to also be involved into that. One example that I can give, and this I'll say maybe in front of these guys as well, the part of the reason why OMDTC is part of the sponsors, we sponsored a certain amount of money to host or organize State of the Map Africa this year's event. And ideally, we wanted to show that we as Africans can be able to, if we join hands, so if OMDTC give out, let's say 5,000 and OSM Uganda gives out 2,000, stuff like that. If we can be able to co-fund our own event, how much do you think, where do you think we can go? We can go far and we can really bring changes on the ground. And ideally, one thing that I'd love, before I leave, I'd love to say is, I'd love to have more people joining physically here, because we have sessions we have people that are presenting online, and some of these people are very strong in their own communities. And if they could be here, I'm sure the networking, the kind of connections would have been very strong. And I understand it's because of the funding and different other issues, but where we should be go, like we should really focus into how we can unite ourselves, even if we get funding from non-African communities. But as Africans, I'm sure that we might be able to push ourselves and really change the narrative. So as I said, I think I'll give it back to Geoffrey as we go. But just feel free. We are all Africans, and of course, we have our friends here as well, but let's really share. We have our friends here that are also interested in, open mapping in Africa. So let's share openly and let's discuss our ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Alors, thank you, Innocent. En réalité, Innocent focalise la discussion, veut que la discussion vraiment soit collaborative, et focaliser surtout sur le partage d'expériences, donc vos retours en réalité, donc sur les possibilités de voir la communauté OSM comme une communauté qui va au-delà de l'organisation, par exemple, des événements comme SOTM, mais comme une communauté qui s'entraide en fait. Donc, s'entraider, par exemple, on peut avoir cette possibilité où on a, par exemple, des personnes qui jouent un rôle important dans nos communautés, mais ne sont, par exemple, pas à mesure par exemple, d'être en présentiel lors des événements, dans ce sens-là. Il parle aussi de l'aspect de la gouvernance au sein de nos communautés, en fait. Donc, c'est important parce qu'il y a justement un atelier en anglais qui a eu lieu hier. Et il y aura également un atelier sur la gouvernance des communautés qui aura lieu demain. Donc, il est important vraiment de définir un cadre idéal qui permette en sorte que les communautés en Afrique soient vraiment unies. Parce que ce qui est clair en ce qui concerne la gouvernance, dans nos pays, nous avons des modèles assez différents. Ça, c'est une évidence. Mais maintenant, chaque communauté rencontre ses challenges, ses défis, ses opportunités. Et en apprenant de ces différentes communautés, en apprenant des différentes communautés, je pense en réalité qu'on pourra s'en sortir. Donc, one second, please. Donc, I think it's okay for me.
Yeah. So I think they have said everything. So I'm just going, I think, to stress some few points that OSM Africa has been existing, right? Since about, I think, 2015, 2016. And we have been doing some activities. One of them is organizing this conference, right? State of the Map Africa. These days, we also run a monthly mapathon, but I think the idea is on the table is that we can do much more. For those of you who were in, I had a session yesterday about the state of OpenStreetMap in Africa. So the challenges we have go beyond just organizing a conference, right? Because we come here at the conference, we say, we have this challenge, but where are the solutions? Okay? Who is going to sit down and work on those solutions? You realize most of the the challenges that we face need something that is really organized, for someone to sit down and think, okay, have this issue as OSM Africa, OSM communities in Africa have this issue. This is a plan on how we are going to solve those challenges. We need like a strategy, okay? To be able to do that, you need to be organized. Yeah, so we need solutions beyond the conference, beyond the monthly mapathon. We need a kind of an organization that can sit down with a partner, okay? Because right now, if you go and say, yeah, I want to talk to AFD, and you say, I'm OSM Africa, they're going to ask you, where is your office? How many people do you have, that work for the organization? Like, I think with organization comes more benefits, but also it makes it clear that we can solve bigger challenges. But it's not an easy thing, because this would be an association or an organization for the whole, continent. Yeah, there's something that you're going to ask yourself immediately. If you have to register it officially, where do you register it? You register it in Ghana, you register it in Cameroon, you register it in Ethiopia. Okay, which laws are going to govern that organization? You need to hire staff. Where are you going to get the staff from? Are they going to be all from one country? Are they going to be from different countries? How are you going to fundraise money? Because if you run an office and you have people that are working for the organization, you need to pay them. Okay, money can come in, but also have to manage it well. So there have to be like clear structures for managing the finances. But like Innocent mentioned, the key thing is governance. Okay, if we form this organization and it's made up of only people from only one country, other countries are not going to feel like they're part of it. So how do you create an entity that is representative of all Africa? Okay, should we have a board where there is one person from each country that is representing on that board? That's the question. But then it would be a big board, because then you have 54 people on the board, and to make a decision, it's going to be difficult, right? So those are the ideas we want to get from you. But I think most importantly, we need a timeline, like Willie said. Like, I think when we say we are launching this, it means we are going into working mode. We want people who are going to work on this to make it a reality, so that at least by the time we have the next conference, we say, this is what OSM Africa has been able to do as an organization, okay? We have been working as a network. We prepare the conference, we prepare the map, but we need to do much more. So also from this room, I want to hear, ideas. When people saying, yeah, I want to, to be part of this. I want to contribute my time to frame this. I know there are also people that are joining us online. I see Laura, I see Lamine from Senegal, Trudy from Zambia. So there are many people who are interested in this, but yeah, we need to make it work. Yeah, I think I'll stop there so that we get your ideas, especially on the points that each of us has touched, okay? Yeah, how do we make this work? Yeah, have you seen some entities that are all over Africa? How do they govern themselves? How can we raise money for OSM Africa? Which challenges should we, put first to solve? Because the challenges are many, but we can't solve everything at once. What should we prioritize as OSM Africa? Okay. There are some countries, for example, where there isn't an OSM community that is existing. Should our priority also making sure that we are reaching out to those countries? Yeah, and if we have funding, we can send someone to, to Guinea-Bissau, and he's there for a month. He trains people. By the time he leaves, there is an OSM community that is starting. So I think there is a lot that we can do, but we need ideas. We need people who are ready to put in time and energy into this so that it becomes a reality. Yeah, I hope Yves can summarize that because.
Yeah, sure.
But then, yeah, I think the rest of it will be discussion.
Alors, Geoffrey évoque l'existence d'OSM depuis 2015 et 2016 et la plupart des activités d'OSM Africa étaient surtout orientées sur l'organisation de SOTM et puis aussi les mapatons en Afrique mensuels. Mais après, ce qu'il dit, ce qu'il évoque également et qui est super intéressant, c'est que qui va résoudre en réalité nos problèmes, les problèmes que nous avons au sein de nos communautés. Donc, et pour cela, pour résoudre nos problèmes, il est important de définir une stratégie avec des personnes qui sont en mesure de discuter avec des partenaires pour répondre vraiment à des problématiques très spécifiques. Et il ramène encore sur la table ce volet de gouvernance qui est vraiment important parce que il y a les modèles qui sont différents d'un pays à un autre. Il y a également les questions de finances qui sont à évoquer parce que on a besoin effectivement de l'argent pour payer les staffs parce que il y aura effectivement des personnes et puis on doit développer une stratégie de fundraising par exemple pour pouvoir faire des levées de fonds. Donc effectivement c'est une réalité d'avoir une communauté, mais également de pouvoir définir une stratégie. Et pour cela, nous avons besoin de définir un calendrier bien spécifique afin d'atteindre des objectifs. Ne pas étaler l'initiative et puis peut-être se perdre dans les idées en fait. Donc, nous devons définir un calendrier bien spécifique avec des actions concrètes pour pouvoir atteindre notre objectif d'avoir vraiment une communauté unie.
Yeah, so I think
the floor is open.
Yeah,
we need your contribution. Make it short, and then you see how many minutes left for this presentation.
Yeah, I think the people online as well. If you want to jump in, you can put up your hand, and we can allow you to speak. We have about, I think, 25 minutes that are left. But yeah, the floor is open. Put up your hand. Yeah, want your ideas.
And this is a start. We will not stop now after this session. We just start the conversation. We will follow this online and then at certain point we'll stop and then see what we can.
Yes. Okay. Once go fast.
There's a hand up.
Okay.
Online.
Online, over to you. Trudy.
Okay, thank you so much for this discussion. I think we've had this discussion.
Are you able to speak?
I'm speaking. Are you able to hear me?
We should connect the audio.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, but it's on. I don't know why.
I'm speaking. I don't know why. Are you able to hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, thank you so much. A good afternoon and good evening, wherever you're watching in from. This discussion has been going on for years, and I'm happy that we are where we are. But the most important thing, I don't think it will be good for us because we've spent years talking about this. I think it's time we take into action for the registration. Remember, there's a time we did a survey to find out the regulation for registering association in different countries. So my advice is a country that has less restrictions.
I think we lost you.
I think they're not. Hello, are you able to hear?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. Continue. Yeah.
Okay. Wanted to switch on the video because maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I think we shall get back to you, Trudy, when you're able to speak. But I think we captured one of your points. But let us look at the registration requirements for organizations in different countries, and also that will help us determine where to register this. But I think, and I want to hear your opinion on this, and everyone in this room. I think, for me personally, that the first step really should be what kind of organization, okay? What do we want the organization to do? And then we register it. Because to register an organization, you have to put the goals of the organization. So we can't really start with registration before we have clearly defined what we want this association to do. How is it structured? What's the governance? I think there are some things we can do before we even register. So that when we got into registration, we are making it official, but it's clear for everyone what they are signing up for. I want to invite someone from, from Central African Republic and say, do you want to be part of OSM Africa? With clear goals, so that this person sees benefit in the what? In the organization. That's kind of my personal view. But I think Lamine also wants to comment. Lamine, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. Alors, Geoffrey, bien avant, Trudy qui parlait qu'on doit checker les critères en fait d'enregistrement dans chaque pays. Geoffrey, en complément, ajoute, avant de parler d'enregistrement, on doit définir le type d'organisation que nous souhaitons avoir, notamment en définissant la structure, les objectifs de l'organisation avant de penser à l'enregistrement. Over to you.
Lamine, over to you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, I go to speak in French because I am very fluently in French. Okay. En fait, déjà, je vous remercie par rapport à cette initiative. Je me rends compte qu'en fait, il y a pas mal de défis que, en tant qu'entité chargée de l'organisation en fait, du State of the Map, vous rencontrez par rapport même à la mise en confiance en fait, des partenaires et des bailleurs. Et je pense que c'est opportun de pouvoir se formaliser et mettre en place une structure à l'échelle continentale. Pour moi, il y a deux aspects à laquelle il va falloir répondre. La première, c'est quel modèle en fait, de structure nous voulons mettre en place, mais aussi la parité et l'inclusion en fait, au sein de cette organisation. Parce que comme vous le savez, en fait, il y a pas mal de communautés qui sont en Afrique, qui travaillent sur OSM. Certains sont légales au niveau de leur pays, d'autres ne le sont pas. Et aussi par rapport même à la langue, qui constitue un des facteurs en fait, de barrière dans pas mal d'organisations, que ce soit au niveau de OSM Fondation ou bien au niveau de HOT. Ce même défi-là va se retrouver au niveau de OSM Africa. Donc, il va falloir qu'on règle ces questions-là en amont avant de pouvoir vraiment penser à s'enregistrer. Et je me dis que pour s'enregistrer dans n'importe quel pays, que ce soit voilà, en Afrique de l'Est, Afrique de l'Ouest, du Nord et du Sud, dans n'importe quel pays où on peut vraiment faire l'enregistrement, ça se fait. Mais au préalable, essayons d'avoir un cap et une vision claire sur comment on va s'accompagner et comment on va aller ensemble. Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Thank you so much, Lamin. So, Lamin, before we think about registration, there are some common questions or some aspect that we should consider. So, about the first thing is about the model of the structure that we want to have, and then we should also think about the parity and the inclusions amongst our community. You know, we have like many community in Africa, and some of them are legal and non-legal, and these are things that we should consider. Another aspect that we should consider is also a language barrier. That's a really, really important aspect because if we consider to have like a community in Africa, we should we have many language, international and local language as well that we should consider. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I think the good thing is that we are recording this session, so all of these ideas would be good to, you know, even write up a document and say, these are the ideas that came out of this that we want to talk about. But let's get ideas from the room. Yeah, anyone, either in French or in English, feel free to put up your hand and contribute.
Des idées?
People are on their phones.
The best way is to give your idea like in bullet point. Point one, I think is point two, three, four, so it makes it fast without building.
Yeah, I think I know already some people from this room who want to talk. I'm just going to encourage them. I think let's listen from Salih from Benin, right? There's someone from Congo, Brazzaville. Yeah, Tanzania have had already some ideas. Cameroon have already had. We have Zambia. Yeah, so which country should we go to first? Is there any country I've not seen? Have France. Yeah, and Morocco is here. Yeah, so we have like very good representation from all over Africa.
Brazil as well.
Brazil as well, and German. Yes, Brazil is the great African country. So maybe let us start from Salih, and then we move around. Yeah, Salih, the ideas you have had here, what are your thoughts? How should we do this? Yeah, feel free to speak in French and Jeeves can translate. Maybe you can even come here so that people online can see you. Yeah.
The next person should prepare.
Yeah. Yeah. We have you today. We're not letting you go before you give us your ideas.
Ah oui, the question was in English. Par rapport à ce qui a été dit, quel est ton avis dessus? Quelle est la bonne méthodologie pour construire en fait une communauté qui soit en fait à l'échelle africaine et efficace?
D'accord. Merci beaucoup. Donc, moi, c'est Salut Abdou, OSM Bénin. Déjà, merci pour l'initiative. Je fais partie de ceux-là qui ont eu quand même la chance de participer, ou du moins, en fait, d'avoir mis pied dans les prémices, en fait, de OSM Africa. Et rien de formel, on a continué via un groupe avec une idée autour des activités qui ont lieu, des réunions en fait de coordination où chaque pays pouvait venir s'exprimer par rapport aux activités qui se mènent au niveau de son pays et autres. Ça se passait bien. Après, il y a eu une sorte de déclinaison, c'est-à-dire, on a dit OSM Africa, mais la barrière linguistique a conduit en fait à un retrait en fait des membres en fait du côté de l'Afrique de l'Ouest francophone, et vous aurez remarqué également. Donc, si nous voudrions construire en fait cette communauté, il va falloir réellement tenir compte de cette barrière linguistique-là. Et moi, je voudrais qu'on parte en fait sur
de l'égalité. Donc, que la fondation, en fait, que ce soit la fondation ou l'architecture elle-même, en fait, que ce soit de l'égalité, de l'équité. Et ensemble, de l'inclusion. Donc, au niveau de cette inclusion on va désagréger et parler, en fait, du genre, voilà, de l'équité, de l'égalité, ainsi de suite. Donc, comment est-ce que nous allons faire pour que à chaque fois qu'il y a une activité, que tout le monde, en fait, soit présent. Cela relève peut-être de l'utopie, parce que on peut jamais avoir tout le monde autour d'une initiative. Donc, à un moment donné, on aura des absents. Mais quel est l'effort qu'on va pouvoir mettre en jeu pour que cela puisse arriver? Donc, là, ce sera la communication. Donc, il faut de la communication. Donc, c'est vrai que je donne par exemple cette session, bon, c'est resté dans le groupe. Donc, il y a eu de la communication autour, il y a eu des... Donc, je me dis, on aurait également pu aussi, voilà, mener déjà des démarches en arrière-plan pour pouvoir faire intervenir la majorité de personnes. Et j'aurais préféré également qu'il y ait plus de personnes avant qu'on ne commence, mais c'est déjà bien. Il faut toujours commencer par quelque part. Donc, pendant des années, moi, j'ai toujours été impliqué dans des mouvements d'association. Donc, et l'un des éléments, en fait, essentiels, c'est souvent la communication. Donc, si nous voulons construire, en fait, ceci, il va falloir vraiment qu'il y ait de la communication et que la barrière linguistique, en fait, soit tombée. Je sais pas comment, mais je sais qu'il y a des gens ici qui ont l'idée, en fait, de comment est-ce qu'on va faire pour que cette barrière linguistique-là soit tombée. La preuve, toute cette session, c'est plus anglophone, en fait, que francophone. Donc, dans toutes les sessions où j'ai été, il n'y a pas de traducteur. D'accord? Et ça, OSM Africa, c'est de l'engagement. Et normalement, on n'a pas, en fait, à chercher quelqu'un ailleurs pour faire les traductions. Il y a des gens capables de le faire. Donc, et c'est là que je viens maintenant au niveau de l'engagement. Comment est-ce qu'on fait pour faire en sorte que les gens puissent s'engager? Comment amener les gens à comprendre la chose commune? Et que on n'a pas besoin de venir me voir d'abord avant que je m'implique. Et que si j'ai des compétences à mettre à disposition pour que la chose puisse évoluer, je n'ai pas à garder. Parce que les meilleures connaissances sont celles que l'on partage. Et ici, c'est la plateforme. C'est le creuset. Donc, si vous savez des choses à faire que vous pouvez apporter, ne les gardez pas pour vous. Partagez. Même si c'est professionnel, ça vous permettra de créer votre réseau. Et ce que vous connaissez, nul ne peut vous l'enlever.
Ok.
Yeah,
Just tu reprends ton élément. En 3 mots.
No, je prends Just to summarize what you said, it just gave some orientation there to consider, like for having like to have like an organization, such like this, like he take into account the importance of the communication while implementing such initiative, and also we also have to solve linguistic barrier, because most of people in the community I will say lost the engagement, because especially within Francophone community because of the language barrier. And I think like it's something that we really have to solve it. And also we should consider like inclusion aspect, and inclusion aspect, we mentioned like the gender and the equity amongst the member within the community as well. Thank you.
Alors, bonjour à tous une fois de plus. Je suis Gilbert Thierry Ngoma et je suis avec beaucoup d'attention tout le déroulé de la présentation de la création, bien entendu, d'une communauté. Bon, la communauté de l'association OSM Africa, et un certain nombre de questions ont été posées sur concrètement la structure, comment on va structurer OSM Africa. Et j'aimerais proposer, bien entendu, quelques éléments de réponse. Et ce que je m'en vais vous proposer, ça je prends en compte ce que mes prédécesseurs ont eu à dire par rapport à la parité. Puisque l'Afrique étant un continent et ce continent est divisé plus ou moins en différentes régions, on peut, dans l'organisation, créer un comité d'organisation à la base qui soit représentatif des gens provenant des différentes régions d'Afrique. Ça, c'est le premier point. Mais aussi, surtout, réellement, dans le cadre de l'organisation, qu'il y ait, si c'est une sorte d'association, qu'il y ait en amont un comité d'organisation représentative des différentes régions d'Afrique, mais aussi surtout qu'il y ait à côté une sorte de commission qui va faire le suivi du comité d'organisation, et au-delà de cela, qu'il y ait une sorte d'assemblée générale qui va plus ou moins prendre des grandes décisions en lien avec l'organisation de OSM Africa. Cette assemblée pourrait être, à l'image des assemblées que nous avons dans nos pays, être représentative de tous les pays d'Afrique, une personne par pays qui va, comme les voting members de Hôte, venir et prendre des décisions ensemble, mais ces personnes-là doivent obligatoirement provenir de l'ensemble des pays d'Afrique, en dehors du comité d'organisation, en dehors de la commission qui est chargée de faire le suivi de la communauté, mais en substance également pour assurer une meilleure organisation au niveau de l'association OSM Africa. Il sera intéressant qu'au-delà de ces deux commissions d'abord, qu'il y ait également des petits comités au fait pour un certain nombre de tâches, pour comité chargé de la formation, comité chargé par exemple des sessions de cartographie, des activités en ce sens, qu'il y ait des sous-comités comme ça en dehors du comité d'organisation. Voilà là quelques éléments de réponse par rapport à la question de l'organisation, de l'organisation de l'association. Mais je sais surtout, pour le deuxième point, pour les barrières linguistiques, je pense que à travers la communauté, déjà, lors des événements qu'on essaie d'organiser en ligne, on essaie déjà de résoudre ce problème, notamment en faisant des sessions, lors des breakout rooms, par exemple, pour le OSM Africa, on a des sessions en anglais, en français, en portugais, en swahili, et ainsi de suite. On peut partir des réussites que nous avons déjà connues en implémentant de telles solutions pour insérer ça, bien entendu, dans OSM Africa. Merci.
Thank you beaucoup, Gilles. So, Gilles brings just a little response on the structure that we should adopt for the OSM Africa organization. So, basically, we should organize in various committees. We have like the first committee, the organization committee with the different countries, and then he also mentioned a commissions of monitoring that will help, like, you know, just to follow the activities that are made by the organization committee. And then you also have the General Assembly representative, different country from the OSM Africa community. So he mentioned, like, he just wants to compare, it's like the hot voting member that we have at hot. And also, we also have like subcommittee, committee in charge of the trainings, and then committee in charge of mapping that we should also consider. In terms of linguistic barrier, we have like in our community some solution that we have tried, we have tested, and it works. For example, during the OSM monthly mapathons, we have like different languages in the breakout room session, especially French, English, Swahili, and it really works because we have like more engagement during that session. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jimavi. So time check, we have 7 minutes. We still want more ideas from the room. So for people who are coming in, you have 1 minute each. Share your idea. The people online, Laura, if you have some idea, you can put up your hand again, and Trudy. But yeah, let us get more ideas from the room. Who wants to go? 1 minute. How do you say 1 minute in French?
1 minute.
1 minute. I'm practicing French. 1 minute.
Bonsoir à chacun. Je suis l'étudiant Gonotu, aussi au compte de l'ISTAO. Alors, la question ici, c'est de savoir que faire pour sortir d'United Hotel avec les prérequis établis pour constituer un bureau. Ma modeste contribution vient compléter celle d'un prédécesseur qui a dit que déjà il y a la langue, mais à cela, moi, je vais ajouter autre chose. Il y a cette langue qui doit être déjà un point à étudier et à régler, mais il y a aussi le caractère de l'histoire. Nous n'avons pas tous la même histoire. L'OSM Tanzanie et l'OSM Cameroun ne peuvent communiquer que si les deux ont échangé leur histoire. Et c'est par là que les idées peuvent surgir. Il y a déjà la technologie, on sait quoi faire à l'OSM, mais il faut connaître l'histoire de celui avec qui je travaille, avec qui je coopère. Donc, c'est ce point que je voulais ajouter sur l'idée de...
Yeah, thank you. Gonna additionally, like to the language point, mentioned the importance like of understandings, like the history of each organization. So exchanging the history of each one like would help us to understand everyone's and then make things really easy. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're going to go back online. Trudy, you have 1 minute. Then
Yeah,
I think
so
one more idea from the room, and then yeah.
Yeah, the other thing which I wanted, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing which I wanted to say is I think OSM Asia might be registered, OSM Europe and US. So I think we'd also find out from them how they made this possible, because learning from others and their experiences would help us move faster and go in a better direction. The other thing is to find out from each community what their expectations are out of the OSM Africa community. That will help us also to structure ourselves well when we are putting down, because I believe the first time we tried to put, by then the community wasn't big the way it is now. We tried to put up what we were all expecting, what objectives are, but I think now it has changed because the community is bigger, and by then even always we didn't expect to see what we are seeing now, because things have really changed from the first time we had all these discussions. So it would be good to engage all communities to find out what the expectations are from OSM Africa. Thank you so much.
Je vous dis en quelques mots, il faut apprendre des communautés, notamment la communauté qui est en Asie, la communauté qui est en Europe, la communauté qui est également aux États-Unis. Et puis, et aussi comprendre les attentes de chaque communauté, parce que au fil des années, la communauté, elle a grandi, d'autres sous-communautés se sont ajoutées, et forcément, les attentes qui étaient naturellement en 2000 ne seront pas les mêmes en 2023. Donc, il est important de connaître vraiment les attentes de chaque communauté dans cette initiative. Merci.
Yeah, merci beaucoup, Trudy. Yeah, so which country wants to take up the next slot? Zambia, Nigeria, Kennedy.
Us to take up.
Yeah.
So you have to have Zambia twice, because Trudy is from Zambia. So
Yeah.
I think for me, basically, it's I think most of the things have been said, which had to do with language barrier. I think for the French-speaking countries, most of the times we have activities. You can see even from different projects that that happen within the communities. We it's only here that I got to learn most of the things that are being done around. So I think that aspect might be, there should be a more strategy that we're going to use to make sure that every voice is heard in terms of what Africa is doing, because at the end of the day, it's through these projects that actually other projects are actually born. So if we don't hear about what is happening in your country, it's very difficult to know and understand, because at least I've known a couple number of people here, because I only knew Willie and Emmanuel just by the mapathons that we used to have. And then another thing that I would want us to really pay attention to is even as we make these structures, okay? I think there should be a bit of, I would say, mechanisms that are going to audit us in terms of making us responsible, or making us be answerable to at least the community, okay, depending on the leaders that are going to actually lead us in this cause. Because you can't have, you can't launch something and not have leaders to actually go forth and do that. So if we can have mechanisms and indicators that would use for us to actually be able to remind each other, remind each other of the responsibilities and which communities are supposed to be involved in what, I think that would be amazing. I think from that, from that being said, I talk.
This guy can talk forever. Yeah, but yeah, thanks. Maybe in 30 seconds.
Yeah. So Kennedy mentioned 2 points. He just in French. Yeah. Kennedy a mentionné 2 points. Donc déjà en lien avec les langages des barrières linguistiques. Donc il est vraiment important de définir une structure vraiment pour corriger ce problème, parce qu'en réalité, on se rend compte que certaines communautés par rapport à d'autres ont des opportunités à cause, par exemple, des barrières. Par exemple, je vais prendre un exemple banal. La plupart des communautés d'Afrique de l'Ouest ne bénéficient pas forcément des communautés d'autres de certains projets, parce que la langue constitue vraiment un véritable frein sur ce côté. Donc, il est important de comprendre et de connaître vraiment, de résoudre ce problème, en fait. Et puis, il évoque aussi la possibilité ou l'éventualité de mettre en place des mécanismes de suivi avec des indicateurs, en fait. Donc, voilà. Sorry,
Yeah, I think it's time for a tea break, actually. So I want people to have their tea break before the next session starts, right? But I think one thing that was mentioned by Trudy was, let us learn from other entities that are out there that maybe have a similar structure like want to set up. I think, OSM Europe, I don't think they are an entity. No. The same thing, I think the other one, Asia, I don't think they are, USA. No. So I think the only one that there is that is close is USA. But also USA is unique because it's one country, although it has very many states, right? So yes, sir.
State is like a country, Geoffrey.
Oceania. OSG Oceania. Yeah, I think OSG Oceania, we can look at them, but even OpenStreetMap US, we can also get ideas from them. Then expectations from the community, we can do get ideas from each community, like what do they expect from OSM Africa, so that when it is formed, you want to represent all their ideas. And I think what Kennedy mentioned is going to be answerable, because if it's for the community, then there has to be a mechanism to make sure that whoever is maybe leading the organization is answerable back to the community. So maybe Innocent, and then we need to wrap it up, and then we go for our tea break.
For the sake of time. So I'd love to say thank you to everyone that has contributed their ideas, because I think this has been incredible. Instead of a few people sitting down and jotting all this down, we might have come short in some of the thinking. So it's a good thing that we have talked about learning from other communities that are of the same nature of of how we want to be, but also considering the fact that Africa is huge and there is a very big problem of language barrier within different countries. Like you might find different, language barriers within a country itself. So, uniting the whole Africa will be more problematic. But I think he's going to do the closing remarks. But I'm very thankful. First to be here, but also for you also to provide different ideas. But generally, as I said, I just want to emphasize that we have to really put ourselves forward, because nothing might be done if we are relaxed or we wait maybe for Geoffrey and we're trying to do something and we are just relaxed. So everyone has their, has something that they need to do that will really push, OSM Africa forward into what we want it to be. So thank you and have a great other sessions.
Thank you. Merci pour la contribution de tout un chacun. Donc, c'était vraiment intéressant de discuter par rapport sur le fait d'apprendre des autres communautés, d'évoquer également les barrières linguistiques. Mais cependant, je pense que il est important que nous fassions des efforts pour que cette initiative voit le jour. Ce n'est pas une affaire d'une personne, mais c'est une affaire d'une communauté, c'est une affaire de l'Afrique. Merci.
Alors, merci beaucoup pour votre attention. En guise de conclusion, I still have a question. Timeline. When? Deadline. We have to come out of here with a deadline. And then, on a commencé, après tu vas faire la traduction, on a commencé par le passé avec un petit comité, on a déjà consulté quelques acteurs. C'est pas comme si rien n'a été fait, mais on ne pouvait pas aujourd'hui venir au cours d'une rencontre et imposer une réflexion d'une petite communauté à toute la grande communauté. Et il était important que l'une des recommandations du State of the Map Africa soit la mise sur pied de OSM Africa. Là, ce n'est pas le petit comité qui réfléchit, c'est une grande recommandation du State of the Map Africa qui se tient cette année à United Hotel. Ce n'est pas un hasard, c'est parce qu'on a voulu que Africa unite at United Hotel. C'est pour ça qu'on a fait ça cette année ici. Donc, il faudrait qu'au sorti d'ici, on se donne juste un délai et ensuite les résolutions de cette conférence, on puisse produire quelque chose et je pense qu'on va continuer les échanges au-delà de cette session. Merci beaucoup et de votre attention. Actually, you know it. So it's just that what we said is that it's not the first time we are meeting, discussing on this question. But the issue is we cannot just have a committee and then we impose the vision of the committee to the whole community. So for us, organizing State of the Map Africa in Yaoundé, Bangomo, at United Hotel is because we want Africa to unite. And we need just to give a timeline and we wish for the next maybe couple of weeks. We will still continue the discussion online, but we must have something ready as fast as possible. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the end of this session. Thanks everyone for joining online and also watching us on YouTube. Yeah, break now and then we resume session is at the top of the hour. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.
All right, guys. Ouch.
Nice.
Marcel? 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 Hi, Marcel.
Hi.
Thank you for your presentation.
Oh, thank you.
I was talking to Mel about it and she's like, yes, you guys did good work.
Thank you. Oh, I see Lamine. Hey, Lamine, how you doing?
Hi, Marcel. How are you?
I'm gonna send you an email, Marcel.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do you need my contact?
Yes, I need your contact. Yeah,
let me
I
see
was talking to Mel right now.
Let me write it to the chat.
Okay. When you go back, tell her that I've sent greetings to her babies.
Where do I do the?
You go to the chat, to the question and answer, I think.
Okay, comment tu vas?
Lamine, we've missed being there together.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcel. I'll get in touch with you, Marcel.
Thank you. Would be great. Yeah. And Lamine, we also need to talk.
Yeah.
We need to talk about the data in San Luis.
No matter.
Actually, I'm going to talk to you about data in Zambia.
Okay, good. Yep.
Okay, you've been recording. Oh my God.
Okay, guys.
Okay, guys. All right. Thank you so much, Marcel.
See you next section. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Johannes, bring your head here.
Hey, Rudy.
Bring your head. How are you?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm seeing you're doing good work there. You've seen Kennedy. You see now that Zambia is on the map now.
Yeah. You're doing good.